When you experience something firsthand, you're going to base your point of view on that experience. And some people claim books I read drew in some spirits or negative entities or just bad vibes. Ooh, there's a coyote howling. But the fact is, I didn't buy a single occult, esoteric themed book until years after my experiences in 2011. But let's talk about a good question, which I've been wanting to do an entire episode on, and I'm probably going to touch upon it in the future. A guy named Nick Miller asks the question on Twitter. Feel free to ask me questions, twitter.com/Razimus. I'm going to see those questions a little bit easier than other places. But you can ask questions here in the YouTube comments section as well. I'll try my best to answer. Hey, I'm using my new lapel microphone. I don't have headphones to check the levels, but I think it's going to go good. Let me know with feedback. So back to the Nick Miller question. And I've heard this question a couple times. I've had this thought pop up probably the first time I saw a paranormal video, even in the 90s. Psychics will claim they can send a spirit back to the light. Nick Miller asks, can you help spirits? Can you help them send them back to the light, or help them get out of a loop? There are a million superstitions attached to that. I don't have the exact question in front of me. But that's basically the question. What are your thoughts on psychics, mediums, ghost hunters that claim they can send and help a spirit pass on to the other side? That they're kind of stuck here and let's help them out. There's a guy named Steve Huff. You probably have heard of him. His motives, after looking at his channel for 5 years straight, I think you get a pretty good idea of someone and the motives they're aiming for. And even in my one singular video I've ever talked about Steve Huff, even then I didn't put the pattern together until later. But Steve Huff claims he can help spirits move on to the other side, and he even recruited another channel and collaborated with them. And these two ghost hunting channels use ghost spirit boxes, which are radios that are modified for ghost hunting specifically, where you can supposedly hear the voice in real time, have a real-time conversation with a spirit. And that Steve Huff is like, hey, go toward the light. I'm helping. Yes, I'm doing good. I can't believe I'm amazing. Look at me. I'm helping the spirits move on to the other side. Oh my gosh. I did something great. This is my lifelong goal now, to help spirits move on to the other side. I wish I could really show how it looks on the other side, but I can't. But I can illustrate what I do know about the other side. It's something Steve Huff dances around. He even uses the word demons for clickbait purposes. And concerning clickbait, Steve Huff is not exactly positively motivated, all right? The day after David Bowie died, or even the day David Bowie died, the day of, Steve Huff made a video contacting David Bowie. He kept that video up for a couple hours, maybe a day, and then he deleted it because the comments were overwhelmingly negative with nothing but thumbs down, and hey, you're taking advantage of this musician, this person, this human being. It's just clickbait for views. And he takes it down, but he purposely planned on taking it down, because I see this pattern with Steve Huff. The day Robin Williams died, or the day after, Steve Huff makes a contacting Robin Williams video. The same pattern. Thumbs down, keeps it up for a few hours, enough hours where he gets subscribers off of it. So he'll get like 1,000 subscribers off, people curious, oh, this guy contacts dead famous people? And then most people realize, oh, this is a big fat clickbait scam. That's the pattern I see with Steve Huff. He's not out to help spirits, and let's pretend he's deluded enough to think he is amazing enough to go around helping spirits. He's not helping spirits. And that channel he's collaborated with, some faith, supposed Christian channel, who also claims they're out to help send spirits to the light. It's a big fat scam. Now, there's a chance they believe they're actually doing this. But from the perspective of the other side, which I cannot prove, it's a big fat sham, a big fat scam. Let me just illustrate because I can't prove it. This is what the other side looks like. When you're a dead human ghost, you spaceship rocket yourself up to another dimension. The last thing on your ghost mind is, oh, let's contact some guy for YouTube on his spirit box. That's literally the last thing you're ever going to be concerned about. You're going to be concerned about family members and your closest friends. You're not going to give some random YouTuber who's trying to contact you via a spirit box the time of day. You don't have the inclination or care. A ghost mind is different than a human's mind. Even though you're a human spirit, your mindset is different. You will literally shed a lot of your traits. Now, you're going to hold on to a lot of your traits, but the traits that care about contacting some random dude on the internet, even if you are a big fan of some random psychic and you move on and you really want to contact them, if you didn't notice, there's a veil. If you didn't notice, there's a veil of darkness that separates us from the dead. That veil is there for a reason and a purpose. And I would say 99% of dead people can't pierce that barrier to even communicate. Maybe the 1% that can, they can do it very quickly to a family member to say goodbye. Maybe even via a dream, via some vision. Even they have to use some means beyond directly manifesting and saying, hey, goodbye, see ya. But the actual other side, when someone like Steve Huff is saying, move on to the light. And I heard this story back on an Unsolved Mysteries with the ghost Yanni in the Toys R Us that was haunting an aisle. Some people smelled roses. He was able to stack boxes and the classic poltergeist stuff. Yanni apparently went towards the light after a psychic was hired. Unsolved Mysteries either hired the psychic or Toys R Us. Chances are it was Unsolved Mysteries production department for entertainment purposes. They hired a psychic who said, hey, Yanni, go toward the light. And they had a special effect where you could see an actual light, and it was a big fat flim flam, just a entertainment. Yanni never existed. Yanni never went towards the light. The poltergeist that was at that Toys R Us location was a demonic entity pretending to be a human ghost, playing along. For anyone that was willing to believe. Demonic entities are on the lower dimension closest to us, which is why we can interact with them occasionally. We can interact with dead human ghosts very rarely right after they die if they're saying goodbye. Some people claim there's a guardian angel set up. In my opinion, a guardian angel is a job that's through a chain of command. When you die, you can't say, hey, you know what? Can I sign up to be the guardian angel of this person? I really cared about them. Sorry, there's a chain of command. You can't just linger and haunt someone randomly because you want to be their guardian angel. That person already has a guardian angel from birth to death. Can you watch over them from the higher dimensions? Most definitely. Human ghosts can watch over their loved ones from higher dimensions, but interaction is going to be slim to none. And really direct interaction, such as poltergeist activity of a spirit actually moving objects, is always, in my opinion, in my first-hand experience, going to be demonic entities moving objects. Human ghosts cannot move objects. And I had a little bit of a back and forth between someone that extremely disagreed with that, and they said, hey, Al Capone was haunted, probably by someone he murdered. Well, if Al Capone was haunted by a poltergeist, it wouldn't surprise me. He was a cold-blooded killer. Everyone knows it. That's going to attract demonic entities. All right? If you're a cold-blooded killer like Al Capone, yes, you're going to attract negative entities. And heck, occasionally, there's a chain of command on the demonic side, just like the angelic side. And the chain of command involves a demonic entity getting permission to even have this poltergeist attack and haunting. Demonic entities just don't randomly start haunting someone with poltergeist activity, unless the chain of command has given them approval to do so. So when I was haunted in the year 2011 by a poltergeist entity, the first 2 weeks I moved into that room that I found on Craigslist, nothing happened. I didn't notice anything. Perhaps it was 2 weeks and it was before that, because 6 months before that I had an encounter with a demon. So it was really 6 months of that higher ranking demon perhaps even getting approval from its chain of command and setting up the ranks, setting up the militaristic strategic plan on let's bother this guy in 6 months. I moved in. 2 weeks later, stuff happened every single day. So can you help people move on to the light? Move on to the other side after they've died? No, you cannot. It's a big fat sham, a big fat scam, a big fat flim-flam. Anyone claiming they can do it, they're self-aggrandizing themselves. They think they're some type of saint of the stars and superior God-like creature that can go, there you go, on to the next dimension. No, they cannot do that. The psychic on that Unsolved Mysteries episode with the ghost at the Toys R Us didn't move Yanni to the other side, and he was never Yanni. The psychic grabbed some random name of some random dead person. The demon's name wasn't Yanni, and who knows what the demon's name was. In my opinion, don't try to find a demon's name. But I'm not an exorcist. And I don't specialize in exorcisms. I don't even want to associate with an exorcism. I take a more neutral approach. Because when you try to kick a demon out, sometimes they'll come back 7 times stronger, as it says in a particular verse here and there. And that is definitely the case. Even in Buddhism, that is a belief. But when you try to move a spirit onto the other side, it's going to be a demonic entity. And the demonic entity is laughing at the person. They're like, this guy thinks so. So here's Steve Huff. Spirit, move onto the other side. Even if there is, let's say there's a legitimate demonic spirit actually communicating with him. I can't even say that's the case. There are so many frauds out there. I'm not one of them. But I'm going to be conducting experiments. Whatever the results are going to be, I'm going to record it on this very GoPro right here, and a Sony Handycam, and my Panasonic camera. 3 cameras on one location, because as a ghost hunter, you really don't need to go out and look for ghosts. Spirits are stacked on a dimension that exactly is a membrane layer that's right on top of us. We already coexist with them, but we don't know it because we're on the lowest of the low physical dimension. So when someone like Steve Huff or a psychic says, go toward the light, it's always going to be human ghosts looking down going, I'm already in the light, or I'm already in the human ghost dimension. And then below that's going to be demons playing tricks on humans. Trickster demons going, oh, I'll go through the light all right. We can't hear the demons laughing, I'm sure, most of the time. But you can count, they do have personalities. They're people. I just tweeted today that to really get atheists to understand, sometimes you got to use the word people, not spirits. Because spirits is a foreign concept to some people. Ghosts. I use the word ghost loosely. These experiments are going to involve demonic spirits, demons. Oh, let's get the definition. Call it whatever you want. They're not human spirits. They're non-human spirits. Muslims will call them jinn. Christians will call them familiar spirits. A couple of verses here and there. And witches call them familiar spirits here and there. But from my experience, familiar spirits involve a spirit assigned to you from birth. In a witch's perspective, it's going to be something that has magical properties that they communicate with. Or somehow it influences their magic. And then there's so much mythology mixed into the actual truth that it's hard to separate the fake from the reality. But familiar spirits are not animals. Animals aren't possessed by spirits, except occasionally here and there. Occasionally here and there, I guess they can be. Like the swine. And an owl or a black cat will be a favorite among witches and warlocks. But for the most part, that's just going to be an animal. A totally innocent creature. All animals are innocent from birth to death. I love animals. I'm a huge lover of animals. If an animal is possessed temporarily, that's not the animal's fault. Animals can't sin. Animals are pure and innocent from birth to death. There's not a single animal that goes to hell. All animals go to a level of peace when they pass on. Because if they're a pit bull that was trained to kill people or kill other pit bulls, that was their circumstance of it being trained by something they saw as their master. They only did what they're trained to do, or if they're abused and whatnot. And some of these circumstantial instances apply to humans, but some of them don't. Luckily, I'm not the one to judge, and I'll never claim to be the one to judge. In no way, shape, or form do I judge anyone. And concerning witches and warlocks, I'm not someone that would ever go out of my way to hunt a witch or a warlock. Matter of fact, they delve into the esoteric similarly to how I do. We have different opinions and different perspectives. But I have noticed some Christian communities hate me. And some esoteric communities like me. And then there's going to be the other way around. Some Christians like me. I'm sure some witches and sorcerers hate me. I don't do what I do for being liked. I don't do what I do for likes or views. I just like to share the truth. And occasionally a witch and a warlock is going to know a piece of truth and agree with me. And then they'll go another level and do a different thing on, let's do some spells. I've never casted a spell in my life. There's someone on a bike. But can you move and help a ghost cross over to the other side? No, you can't. In my opinion, it's not possible. It's going to be human ghosts already moved on. They don't need your help. You're not the master key portal gatekeeper. You can't do anything concerning these higher dimensional gates. You don't have the keys. You don't have the power. You're not a god. And there are a lot of false beliefs with ghosts. They get stuck in a loop and they just repeat themselves forever. It's not true. That's not the case. I don't claim to have all the answers, but if a ghost is repeating a loop, chances are it's a demonic entity reenacting a loop for the confusion of the human. Demons have ranks, they have strategic game plans, they have goals, and they know what confuses and totally annihilates the truth in the minds of a human. They know how human minds work, and they work tirelessly every day, and they don't have any fatigue. These demons never sleep, all right? When you're a spirit, you don't get tired. Higher dimensional entities, like an angel, isn't going to get tired either. So an angel is going to observe, make sure no rules are being broken. So if a demonic entity breaks a rule, yes, most definitely, invisibly, without you knowing about it, an angel's going to intercede and protect you. Intercede and protect you. And they do that on a regular basis, I believe. I don't know what's happening, but I will share in the future a few angelic-like encounters I may have had. Angels are so subtle, and they stick to the rules so perfectly that you can't even prove they were ever there. But you will see, I think, in the future, where they helped you out. You'll be able to say, wow, thank you. That was pretty cool. I didn't know my life was saved on that freeway because of one subtle helping hand from an angel. And I think we're going to see in the future, after we passed on, everything everyone has ever done to us, including demonic entities. And we can supposedly never be given more than we can withstand. And I hear death is very rare in poltergeist cases. So rare that there is a belief that it's impossible for, or against the rules for, a poltergeist demon to actually kill someone. Well, we don't know. There could be a heart attack victims, and we'll never know. There is a Tibetan Buddhist belief that a dagger killed a Buddhist monk, a dagger that was levitated and flung by a poltergeist. So there are some lore-wise, story-wise, stories of poltergeists rarely killing someone. I'm not afraid. I have zero fear. These experiments, I'm perhaps not looking forward to them, but I'm not scared of them. I think they have a place and a purpose, and whatever happens, happens. I don't know if they're going to be a success or seen as a failure, but it's something I'm going to try out. And next week I am driving many miles, hundreds of miles, to a haunted location, a famous haunted location. I can't reveal the location yet, and I will bring a couple pieces of ghost hunting equipment from my amateur set that I've put together. I don't know how much I'll be able to use it due to the fact it's a tourist spot, but the new show is coming soon. It's going to be pretty cool. I want it to be amazing blockbuster, but this is YouTube and I have a low budget. I hope my lapel mic by Rode, made in Australia, works well. I hope the levels are appropriate for this video. Stay tuned, more stuff coming soon. I'm not going to shoot with this GoPro too often. It was just convenient and lightweight for me to take out here for a quick video. But I'm going to be shooting at this location later this week. Many more things. I wanted it to snow. I happen to be in the desert where it does not snow very often. It might not snow this winter. But this winter, my show is coming soon. Stay tuned. Many more videos coming soon of higher quality. The new show will be separate from a vlog. It'll be a set, organized show. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. Subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Click a thumbs up, leave a comment, do what you got to do. I'm very appreciative of all my viewers, all my subscribers, all my Patreon patrons at patreon.com/Razimus, of all my people that follow me and tweet me on Twitter, twitter.com/Razimus, all the people that simply are seeking the truth. Maybe my truth doesn't exactly jive with your truth. I'm just trying to get to the truth. And if I find out I'm dead wrong on something, I do correct myself and say, you know what? Maybe I wasn't open-minded on that subject. But when it comes to the occult, there are many different beliefs. And sure, you can see it as a wave of this and that that's all over us and impacting us in different ways. But I just want to give the information out, share it. The more I learn, the more I like to talk about my observations. And, it's a learning process. Stay tuned. More videos coming soon. I thank you for watching. This has been John Razimus. Be seeing you.